everybody? I'm Marcus.
I'm Ryan.
And together,
we are the Northwest Sports Fanatics.
Here we are with our NBA weekly review. You know, All-Star time is getting really close here.
Right.
We just want to go over our top 5 teams here, power rankings in the NBA.
All right, well, let's start it off. Number 5.
Number 5.
Cinco. We're going to have to go with the Los Angeles Clippers.
A.K.A. Lob City.
So 34-17. We haven't really had him in the top 5 too much this year. CP3 went down, with the injury, with the shoulder. But Blake Griffin, in return, has turned into an arguable, maybe MVP candidate, superstar. He's really starting to take his game to that next level.
Yeah.
This year. 1-2 in the last 3 games, though. You lost to the Warriors and the Nuggets, but you did beat the Jazz by 15, which you should. Next game is going to be a classic versus the Heat. The Heatles on Wednesday, which would be tomorrow. So we'll have to see how that goes. Any key things you've noticed from the Clippers?
Yeah, I definitely like the way Blake Griffin is taking his next step with Chris Paul out. The key is how aggressive and assertive is he going to be when Chris Paul comes back.
Right.
And I'm sorry, Blake, man, but you got to smack somebody out, dog. They going to keep punking you and beating you up. You got to just make an example out of somebody and just take your 1-game suspension, like whatever.
Right.
But they are actually 12-4 since CP3 injury, since he's been out. 12-4, which is actually pretty good. And Blake has been averaging 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists.
I'm really curious to see how Blake Griffin plays after the All-Star break and once they make that playoff run. Is he going to continue to be as aggressive? Is he going to shoot the shots that he was shooting in the last few games? Or is he going to go back to the old Blake? Maybe taking those outside shots too far out of his range that he can't really make consistently. So we'll have to see if that ends up being, what happens as we move forward going to the All-Star break. But shout out to the Clips.
Only time to tell.
Lob City, you're at number 5. Moving forward to number 4.
Quattro.
We have our Portland Trailblazers.
The Blazers.
So we've slid a little bit. We're 34-14. We're 1-2 in the last 3 games. Lost to the Grizzlies. Didn't play good in that game. Beat the Raptors by 3, which we should have won by more than that. Kind of slipped on that one. Played the Wizards last night, your team. So I got to give you a little pat on the back there. Right? The Wizards played great last night. So we'll have to see how that goes. Next game is going to be Wednesday, versus the Knicks and Melo on the road. This is a key road stretch for the Blazers. Obviously, with the games that we lost to the Wizards yesterday, you got the Knicks, the Pacers, right? And then you got the T-Wolves. So kind of a rough stretch there. I think with the Blazers right now, the key, obviously last night, was the turnovers. You can't have 16 turnovers to 4 going into the fourth quarter thinking you're going to come back and win. Too sloppy. Now, the threes aren't there anymore. It seems like we're going to have to find another way to kind of get those points. Maybe going back to L.A. like we used to.
When all else fails, you throw that ball down there into L.A. The loss to the Wizards, I mean, we just beat OKC.
Right.
So the Wizards playing pretty good ball right now, and that's what they do. They get it out, force turnovers. They want to fast break and shoot threes.
Right.
Kind of sort of similar to the Blazers.
Right.
As far as we shoot a lot of threes, we just fast break a little bit more.
Right.
Before then, they was undefeated, but they are 8-1 versus the East.
Right.
So they're still a pretty good record. 9-7. In the month of January.
Horrible. Based on the start.
Burr.
Based on that start that we had, I mean, we were lights out, on fire, and we definitely hit the wall. But, true teams have that perseverance to fight back.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right. So we'll have to see how that goes as we go to the All-Star break. And tomorrow against the Knicks and Melo, we better bring it. Because if Blazer fans, if you play bad D and sloppy basketball like we did last night, the Wizards, that's going to be a big L at the end of the day. So hopefully we bring it against Melo. Moving forward to number 3.
Trace.
The Miami Heatles.
The Heatles.
So 34-13. They started to pick up their pace a little bit like we said that they would. 2-1 in the last 3 games. You beat the Knicks and the Pistons. You lost to the Thunder by 17. That was kind of I'm not really saying a true test because it seems like some of these games are kind of coasting. They're not really trying their full effort. But they do play the Clippers on Wednesday. That would be a nice, significant top, 2 top 5 teams playing against each other to get that nice victory. What have you seen with the Heatles that makes them so great?
With the Heat, what I've noticed lately after the 17-point schmacking that KD came and just laid the schmack down to him.
Right.
They have been taking it a little more serious lately these last couple of games. And Dwayne Wade, he had 30 points his last 2 games.
Right.
So he's it's going to be tough for him with that knee injury as far as getting the rest and everything.
Right.
But the key thing I see about them is Ray Allen.
Milk carton?
Jesus.
Yeah, Shuttlesworth.
Where you at, bro?
Yeah.
You're shooting 33% from the three-point range this year. That is the lowest percentage that you've shot since you was in Seattle.
That's pretty disgusting.
But
the crazy thing is you know and I know, come past All-Star break and playoff time, who are two players you can always count on to make some plays? Ray Allen and Shane Battier. You know they're going to be there. It's just kind of startling when you see them play so bad at this point in the season. You know, so
especially for Ray Allen, who's one of the all-time greats at shooting the threes. Well, the all-time great at shooting the threes.
With him and Reggie Miller, I think hands down those are your two best shooters in the game besides Steph Curry now, kind of up and coming. So shout out to the Heatles, Miami Heat. You're sitting strong at number 3.
Yes, sir.
And moving forward to number 2. Will be our Indiana Pacers, the champions of the Eastern Conference so far this year.
Okay.
3-1 in the last 4 games. You beat the Lakers, Nets, and the Magic, which you should. You lost to the Suns by 8. Watch out for the Suns. They are a sleeper team, probably the most sleeper team besides the Blazers in the Western Conference. You're playing on TV right now. You're against the Hawks. You're down by 1.5.
Okay.
So they can still recover. You got the Blazers at home on Friday. Blazer fans are excited. I know Indiana's probably excited. Nice little
rematch of that great game.
Right, Hibbert versus Lopez. I'm really interested to see that center matchup. You know, David West versus LA. You know, see that little matchup there. 37-10 for the Pacers so far. Great year. Probably the favored team to go and represent the East at this point. What have you seen lately with Indiana?
With Indiana, of course, we got to mention that they just picked up Andrew Bynum for the remainder of the year. But my key is where is he going to play? Like how? Mahimi to the bench.
I don't really see how he fits in, and I think that, you know, it's like they almost picked him up just to combat Greg Oden. You know, so when they make that Eastern Finals and they have to battle each other and guys get in foul trouble, that maybe they got him just for that sole purpose. But is he committed? That's my real question. Is he committed to this championship run?
Newsflash, man. Andrew Bynum is a headache, man. You got ran out of Portland. I mean, not of Portland. You got ran out of LA.
Yeah.
Then you go to Cleveland, and then you got ran out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
So
Sixer experiment didn't really work out. So I mean, you've gone quite a few teams lately. So we'll have to see if he ends up making a difference.
Another thing I want to say about the Pacers, though, let's get to something positive about the Pacers. Non-All-Star Lance Stevenson,
robbed.
He leads the league in triple doubles with 4.
Robbed. I can't believe that he didn't make it as a reserve. I mean, I don't know if he needed to score closer to 20 points a game, but to me, if you watch basketball quite frequently like we do, he deserves the All-Star spot this year, especially with the Eastern Conference talent not being as on that high level. You know, I like DeMar DeRozan and some of these guys that they decided to bring in, but I thought that was a real snub. Obviously, in the whole All-Star game, that might be the biggest one out of all the All-Stars.
He got snubbed. I admit that, Mr. Born Ready. You still my guy, dog.
Yeah, I like his energy and his passion. And like I said, if they are going to make this championship run, you better believe he's going to be the key reason with that energy and passion to get him there.
Oh, yeah.
And moving forward to number 1.
Drum roll.
Which is Oklahoma City Thunder. Surprise, surprise, a.k.a. the Slim Reaper, a.k.a. KD, a.k.a. the best team in the West, the cream of the crop, the gold standard.
The best player in the league right now.
39-11, outstanding start for them. 3-1 the last 4 games. You beat the Heat convincingly, the Nets and the Grizzlies. You lost to the Wizards, so it seems like these Wizards are starting to come up and play some good competitive games against them.
Not consistent, man.
Not consistent, but you are getting W's against Blazers and obviously some of these top teams like Oklahoma City, so shout out. Something I've noticed, obviously, moving forward, they do play the T-Wolves with Kevin Love tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's going to be a real key game, but I do like the all-around play that I'm getting from the bench. You're really getting that energy, Steven Adams. You're getting Jeremy Lamb. Sometimes they'll throw him in the starting lineup, Perry Jones. I do like that they are mixing up the rotation.
And the OG is shooting a lot better lately, too. I was wondering when he was going to come around, but Dirk Fisher has been shooting a lot better lately.
Maybe Scotty Brooks got on him a little bit. What else have you noticed from the Thunder that makes them the cream of the crop of the NBA?
It's only one thing you can notice, and his name is Mr. Kevin Durant. He's the best player in the league right now. He averaged 35.9 points per game in the month of January, and right now he's sitting at a season average of 31 points a game.
Incredible. And the crazy thing is that we have him ranked number 1, and I think a lot of people around America would have them ranked number 1. But just imagine if Russell Westbrook was
comes
playing
back.
right now, KD probably wouldn't be averaging as many points, but his dominance would still be there. And 39 and 11, I mean, you could argue they would be maybe somewhere in the 43, 44
Maybe
win range.
8 losses.
Maybe 8-7 losses, so it's pretty scary.
I mean, Westbrook's good to get him three wins.
Absolutely. So that's the NBA Power Rankings for this week. Stay tuned for next week. We'll have videos posted all throughout the week and next week,
sir.
and we'll see how the rankings go.
I'm Marcus. This is Ryan.
And together we are the West Sports Fanatics.